just can't hide.
Marcia Griffiths, I wish you could see into the studio of
Woo!
Chin Radio
Yes.
100.7 in Toronto.
Wow, I wish I could see you for real.
I know we have to make that possible because I'm telling you, me and Clifton Joseph are here and we are electric sliding
Oh,
it.
I'm
and
telling you.
Malik on the other side, we stopped and she said, no, keep going.
The whole joint is jumping, Marcia.
Wow, wow. That's the beauty about that song, you know. It just brings everyone together. You need no partner.
No partner, you just go on doing your thing.
Yeah.
You know, Marcia Griffiths, of course, is our guest on Talk to Me on Chin 100.7. And, you know, Marcia, I can't believe JAMBANA is already here. I saw you last time was at Jazz and Blues in Montego Bay as you started celebrating the history of your...
That was the kickoff. Yes, that's right.
You know, this year, the JAMBANA is honoring Marcia Griffiths. She's one of the original members of the I3s, a singing trio that, of course, backed the legendary Bob Marley and the Wailers. Marcia's own career, though, began at a young age. To date, 15 albums, has collaborated with the likes of Bunny Wailer, Byron Lee and the Dragonair she started out with, Berries, Buju, Tony Rebel, and of course Bob, that is Andy and Marcia. Always a pleasure working with you as you celebrate your 50th anniversary, Marcia.
Well, I feel like I'm on top of the world to know that God has preserved me that I could reach this milestone, because there's not a lot of entertainers, especially the female, you know. Being in a woman in a male-dominated business, there's not a lot of entertainers that really have the opportunity to enjoy 50 years in the business and not just counting years. I mean, 50 years of hard work, consistency, always, you know, on the move.
And Marcia, you still look like a spring chicken. And I'm still blown away by the wisping memory of that show you did with Barry's Hammond back in the day in Toronto a little while ago. That was absolutely magnificent.
Well, I am just giving God thanks for everything, you know.
And of course, JAMBANA is not your only Canadian appearance this summer. You'll be at Harbour Front Saturday, August 2nd, the Edmonton Reggae Festival and the Montreal Reggae Festival. Marcia.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'm just enjoying this whole entire year. You know, it only comes once, and I'm going to enjoy it and live it to the fullest. As a matter of fact, I think I should be more active throughout the whole entire year, because every performance I do is a celebration with myself and my fans. Well, I think we move further than fans, though. They're all my family, because if it was not the support of my fans, I don't know what would have happened, because, you know, 9 out of 10 times you just feel like just giving up this thing. You know, the task is always so hard, but the encouragement and the support from these fans and family, boy, is awesome.
And what about the fans? And speaking of fans and family, I mean, Toronto love you. I mean, every time I look at you, you're here, you're there, you're all over the place. It's almost like you have an apartment in Toronto.
Don't forget Toronto. I always say this, no matter where else I am, I always say that Toronto is my second home. That when I come into Toronto, the love that I receive from my audience, believe me, that is enough to rejuvenate me and keep me going for another 50 years.
I sorry to jump in there, but the last, when you were at Jamaica 50 celebration at the Sony Center, I'm telling you, Marcia, the place went wild.
Well, you know, those are the things that I talk about, you know. It's just a feeling that you cannot really explain. That little thing that touches your soul that no doctor in the universe can do. That is what I get from my audience. That, you know, that it is just like you're on top of the world. And I give it back to my audience. I try to give them some really positive vibration. and they send it back to me. So it's like a musical upliftment. That's how I see it, you know?
You've had some phenomenal experiences in your career, Marcia. We you know, you the I3s, Rita, Judy, and Marcia toured with Bob, made some significant impact globally. Just share with us, you know, with our listeners. I mean, it's three women, right, in that situation. What was that relationship like?
Oh, Denny, it would take me so long to really go into it. But
Yeah.
just to touch on it a little, I usually say this is something that was not a coincidence or anything planned. This is ordained by Almighty God himself.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing could have been so right and so perfect if it was planned or arranged. This is from God himself, because even though we came together, it is God's work, because I was doing some solo performances in New Kingston, and we met up at Studio One by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited Judy and Rita to come and do some harmonies for me, and they were so happy. And they came in and we did the harmonies. And the third night, which was the last night, we decided to do a little jam session on stage, doing Sweet Inspiration song, because they were very popular in Jamaica at the time. And the audience loved it. And everybody said, why don't you girls form a group? And believe me, at that particular time when they were encouraging us to form a group, that was a time where Bob, Peter, and Bunny, who are the original Wailers, had a fallout. I didn't know what it was, but it was a major fallout. So he's like, they fall out and we fall in. Because at that time, Bob heard that we had formed a group, and he invited us to come in and do Ja Live, which was a big hit song. And then we ended up doing Natty Dread, and the entire Natty Dread album. And, of course, the rest is history. And I have to say, that part of my journey throughout the 50 years, that was one of my major highlights on my journey, to have worked with Bob Marley and share those musical moments, because it was not until Bob Marley that I realized the seriousness of the music. I thought it was just entertainment and fun and dance, but when I saw how serious this man took his music, I was in astonishment. And then I realized that this music is a serious thing, and it's a responsibility that you have. And whatever you send out there to the world to teach, educate, and uplift, it means so much, and it should be really positive. So that's when I started opening my eyes and said, I'm not going to utter anything that is not of upliftment to people and to mankind. So that was a really major part of my journey, and I'm so thankful that God blessed me that I could share those moments with all these sisters and a man who took the music to the four corners of the earth. Not to mention the little things and the beautiful experience that we have on the road, in the studio, which, as I say, would take like another day.
Absolutely. Marcia Griffiths, we want to thank you so much. See you at JAMBANA. Juan Nelson is right up after Talk to Me and Chinwe.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at JAMBANA. It's a musical upliftment. Be there, please.
I will going out with a little Dreamland. Give thanks, Marcia.
All right, love and blessings.
Right on,
God bless
sis.
you.